Good morning, guys. So, yes, this is the other side. I'm so glad most of you were able to join me yesterday in our live session. The very first one that we did, really a lesson on, but I thought I needed to go ahead and share this for everybody else who didn't get a chance to join us this last time so that you can understand the lesson that I'm going to be teaching today a little bit better. If you don't understand and know this book, it's going to be hard to follow along with the mini lesson that I'm going to be teaching. So I thought I'd share this book with you and a little bit about what I did yesterday. So whether you heard it before or not, still a good review for you to kind of think along those lines of what we're going to be working on today. And I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful day, so I'm sitting outside on my patio listening to the birds. You can see I love feeding them. So just a little bit of a side note there. So this is The Other Side. It's by Jacqueline Woodson. Phenomenal writer. So much deeper than just the story itself. Make sure you can see. That summer, the fence that stretched through our town seemed bigger. We lived in a yellow house on one side of it. White people lived on the other. And Mama said, "Don't climb over that fence when you play." She said it wasn't safe. That summer, there was a girl who wore a pink sweater. Each morning she climbed up on the fence and stared over at our side. Sometimes I stared back. She never sat on that fence with anybody. That girl didn't. Once, when we were jumping rope, she asked if she could play, and my friend Sandra said no without even asking the rest of us. I don't know what I would have said. Maybe yes, maybe no. That summer, everyone and everything on the other side of that fence seemed far away. And when I asked my mama why, she said, "Because that's the way things have always been." Sometimes, when me and Mama went into town, I saw that girl with her mama. She looked sad sometimes, that girl did. "Don't stare," my mama said. "It's not polite." It rained a lot that summer. On rainy days, that girl sat on the fence in a raincoat. She let herself get all wet and acted like she didn't even care. Sometimes I saw her dancing around in puddles, splashing and laughing. Mama wouldn't let me go out in the rain. "That's why I bought you rainy day toys," my mama said. "You stay inside here where it's warm and safe and dry." But every time it rained, I looked for that girl, and I always found her somewhere near the fence. Things start to change here a little bit, so notice that. Someplace in the middle of the summer, the rain stopped. When I walked outside, the grass was damp and the sun was already high up in the sky. And I stood there with my hands up in the air. I felt brave that day. I felt free. Look at her. So it's indicating a change here, a shift of what's going to happen next. I got close to the fence, and that girl asked me my name. "Clover," I said. "My name's Annie," she said. "Annie Paul. I live over yonder," she said, "by where you see the laundry. That's my blouse hanging on the line." She smiled then. She had a pretty smile. And then I smiled, and we stood there looking at each other, smiling. "It's nice up on this fence," Annie said. You can see all over. I ran my hand along the fence. I reached up and touched the top of it. Fence like this was made for sitting on, Annie said. She looked at me sideways. My mama says I shouldn't go on the other side. I said, my mama says the same thing, but she never said nothing about sitting on it. Neither did mine, I said. Watch this. I love this part. That summer, me and Annie sat together on that fence, and when Sandra and them looked at me funny, I just made believe I didn't care. So I did think to myself here, I wonder why she's just making believe that she didn't care. Does she really care? Is this just a really awkward moment because she's doing something that the others are not? So it's good to start thinking about those things when you're reading a text like this. Sorry about the garbage truck. Some mornings, my mama watched us and I waited for her to tell me to get down from the fence before I break my neck or something, but she never did. I see you made a new friend, she said one morning, and I nodded and Mama smiled. That summer, me and Annie sat on that fence and watched the whole wide world around us. Yes, you see my pink sticky note. Another big change here for these girls. One day, Sandra and them were jumping rope near the fence, and we asked if we could play. Well, I don't care, Sandra said. And when we jumped, Sandra and me were partners, the way we used to be. Look at that image. Love that. When we were too tired to jump anymore, we sat up on the fence, all of us, in a long line. Just friends, sitting together. Someday, somebody's going to come along and knock this old fence down, Annie said. And I nodded. Yeah, I said, someday. So, as I was talking to some of you yesterday, this story obviously takes place during a time of segregation in our country. So those are little tidbits that are important to note when you're reading a text like this. When I did my boxes and bullets on this text, I knew that and I paid special attention to that detail. So go back, I put the boxes and bullets and my introductory paragraph in the file section of Teams under, if you go to class materials,